Welcome everybody to the final round of MF1 Season 1. We arrive here at Yas Marina Circuit in Abu Dhabi. And it's also the championship decider race to see who will become the MF1 Season 1 champion of the world. It's a battle between Max Verstappen and George Russell. George Russell leads by a single point in the Drivers' Championship, which means whoever of these drivers finishes ahead of the other will be crowned the MF1 Season 1 champion of the world. It's going to come down to the wire here at Yas Marina Circuit, as here's the track analysis. 2 DRS zones at this track, 16 corners and 58 laps. Now here are the tire compounds for today. Hard C3s, medium C4s, and soft C5s. Strategy is going to be very key here, as it's a 2-stop race and the drivers are ready to start the formation lap, and we are ready to meet the grid.
Esteban Ocon will be starting in the back of the pack, followed by Franco Colapinto. In front of them is Zhou Guanyu and Lance Stroll. In front of them is Valtteri Bottas and Oliver Behrman. In front of them is Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton. In front of them is Sergio Perez and Pierre Gasly with a great qualifying result. In front of them is Carlos Sainz and the championship contender, George Russell. He is a bit far back from Verstappen, so George Russell does need to make up some ground today, as he is very fast at this track and he could possibly clinch this world title. In front of him is Oscar Piastri and Charles Leclerc, and up front is Max Verstappen and Lando Norris. Verstappen is on the front row while George Russell is 2 rows back, but all Russell needs to do today is make up some ground and somehow get by that Red Bull of Max Verstappen. Though it could also come down to the start, if it's a good start or a bad start for both of the contenders for the world title, but we never know, as the drivers have completed their formation lap and they are ready at the line for the start of the Grand Prix.
Here we are now at the start of this Grand Prix, the most anticipated moment this season. Who will be crowned champion? Well, let's find out. Lights out and away we go. Norris with a great start. Leclerc swerving in the back, fighting against Russell, defending his position as Leclerc gets by Piastri. Now heading into turn 1, it's Norris, Verstappen. Verstappen goes for the late-breaking move, and he gets by Lando Norris and takes the lead. Now 3 wide drama in the back of the pack. It's Perez, Sainz, and the championship contender George Russell. And this is an absolute detrimental start for Russell, as he is down numerous positions. But for Max Verstappen, this is a start of a lifetime, as he is leading the Grand Prix. If George Russell wants to win this championship, it's going to take a lot of work, as he is down 2 positions from the start. As his championship rival, Max Verstappen, is already up a position and in the lead of the Grand Prix. But as we make our way into turn 5, will Norris try challenging Verstappen for the race lead? Let's see. Norris will not challenge Verstappen. How about that, folks? Max Verstappen is out front, and if he maintains his position, he will become the world champion. Valtteri Bottas sitting behind Behrman. Will he try making a move? Yes, he will. Valtteri Bottas to the high side of Behrman, as now they are both side by side as we head into turn 5. Valtteri Bottas will have a little bit of a speed advantage, but here comes Lance Stroll. He sees the opening, and he's going to go for the late-breaking move, and Lance Stroll gets by, but he loses the back end of the car. Now, here comes Valtteri Bottas, and he's clearly faster than Stroll. Bottas gets by. More 3-wide drama here at Abu Dhabi. Sainz now under pressure from Russell. Russell looks slow. Sainz defends. Russell with the advantage. Now he gets by. But Sainz with the switchback. And Carlos Sainz gets by George Russell. So much action today here in Abu Dhabi. As Russell looks high, Sainz defends. Carlos Sainz defending for his great friend, but Carlos Sainz is also defending to prove that he deserves a seat in MF1, as next season he doesn't have a job. And even though he's had a quiet season, he wants to prove that he deserves to drive in the absolute pinnacle of motorsports. 2 new teams are rumored to enter MF1 Season 2, and Carlos Sainz wants to be one of the drivers driving for one of those teams. As now we make our way into turn 5, will Russell try making a move on Sainz? No, he won't. He chooses to stay behind Carlos Sainz. But as we enter the straight, DRS is enabled, as now George Russell is chasing down Carlos Sainz. And now George Russell has DRS and gets by Carlos Sainz and moves up a spot. Perez now under pressure from Russell, but Russell looks low. Perez defends. Now they're both side by side. Now Russell is clear of Perez, and he gets by. But this battle isn't over. As we make our way into turn one, Perez makes a late-breaking move, and Sergio Perez gets by. And George Russell's not able to make the switchback, as now Perez is out front of Russell, and he's defending for his teammate, so Max Verstappen can win the championship, and Perez is really slowing down George Russell. Russell is not in a good position to win this championship, but someone else who's also not in a good position is also Sergio Perez. He also does not have a seat for the next MF1 season, and he wants to impress one of the new teams coming to MF1 so he can secure a spot. He's in a similar situation to Carlos Sainz, except Sergio Perez already has a win under his belt. And it's rumored that another team is already interested in Perez. Now we make our way down to turn 5. Russell makes a late-breaking move on Perez, and George Russell gets by. But don't get your hopes up yet, as this battle is still not over. On this next straight, DRS is enabled. It will give Sergio Perez an opportunity to overtake George Russell, as Perez has DRS, and he gets by Russell. The two rivals trading places. Though there is another overtaking opportunity for George Russell, as he can overtake Perez on the chicane, or he can overtake him on the DRS zone coming up. And it looks like George Russell is not going to overtake on the chicane, but that is a good decision, because George Russell can activate DRS, and he can hopefully get by Perez. Now we make our way onto the straight. Russell has DRS, and he's finally going to get by Sergio Perez, and Russell is now up to 5th. First round of pit stops are underway as Lando Norris is in, as he's running a great race today. He's currently in the 2nd position. It's a fast stop for Lando Norris. Great job done by this pit crew. Great job done by Lando Norris. As now Charles Leclerc is also into the pits. He's currently running 3rd. He's having a great day. Charles Leclerc has never gotten a podium in MF1, and he wants to break that curse. Today might be the day Leclerc might get a podium, and he's hoping he will. Great pit stop from that Ferrari team. Max Verstappen is now into the pits, and he's currently leading the race and the championship. It's a great execution done by Red Bull and Max Verstappen as he's into the pits. A fast stop for Verstappen, and he remains out front. George Russell's now into the pits, currently sitting in the 5th position. Not looking good for him in the championship, but a good stop could really help him. It's a great job done by this Mercedes Petronas crew, and George Russell is back underway. Oscar Piastri is now into the pits. He's running a great day so far. Currently in 4th. He's hoping to get by Charles Leclerc. And with a good pit stop. Oh no, there's a problem. The left rear tire isn't coming off. And this is horrible for McLaren. But for George Russell, this is amazing, as now he's up to 4th. And he's gaining more spots and getting closer to Verstappen. But for Oscar Piastri, this is horrible, as his team is frantically trying to get this left rear off, but it's just stuck on the car. This is a major issue. And unfortunately for McLaren, things just can't go their way, as Oscar Piastri is retiring from the Grand Prix, as the team has struggled to take this tire off, but it's just not coming off. It's just stuck. The team doesn't know what the issue is, so they were forced to retire Oscar Piastri from the Grand Prix. This is horrible, as this is Piastri's 3rd DNF of the season. Lewis Hamilton now putting pressure on Fernando Alonso. Hamilton goes low, and Lewis Hamilton gets by Fernando Alonso. Sainz and Perez battling out, as Sainz has DRS, and we make our way into turn 9. And Carlos Sainz, with a remarkable move, is going to get by Sergio Perez. The 2nd and final round of pit stops begin as leader Max Verstappen is into the pits. Today is an amazing day for Verstappen as he's out front. The Red Bull team has executed perfectly, and it's a great stop for Verstappen. George Russell's into the pits as it's a disappointing day, as Russell is sitting in 4th and Verstappen has a large gap on him. It seems like Russell might not win this title. Lewis Hamilton putting pressure on Pierre Gasly as Hamilton goes low, and Lewis Hamilton gets by Pierre Gasly. It's an amazing pass done by Sir Lewis Hamilton. Leclerc putting pressure on Norris. It's a weird spot to make a pass, but Leclerc is going to go for it, and Charles Leclerc is going to put himself into the 2nd position. Esteban Ocon putting pressure on Franco Colapinto. Colapinto defends, and they make contact. Around goes Colapinto. Franco Colapinto tried defending his position, but it didn't work out as he made contact with Esteban Ocon. And let's take a look at this replay. Yeah, just Esteban Ocon trying to make a move, and Colapinto trying to defend, but they touched wheels. Colapinto spinned around, and the stewards are looking at this incident, and Franco Colapinto is probably the main suspect for this incident. This is a look back at the incident that happened a lap ago, and Franco Colapinto has been given a 5-second time penalty to his final race time after he made contact with Esteban Ocon, currently sitting in last, not running a great day. Terrible luck for Franco Colapinto. Max Verstappen wins the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix and becomes the MF1 Season 1 Champion of the World. It's a delightful scene at Red Bull as Charles Leclerc finally gets a podium and Lando Norris finishes third.
Max Verstappen, you are the world champion! The world champion!
It is unbelievable, guys.
Everybody in the Red Bull paddock is celebrating as Max Verstappen has won his first ever MF1 title and Red Bull has won the Constructors' Championship. Max Verstappen has won the MF1 Season 1 World Championship and he celebrates by doing donuts right in front of the crowd. It's been such an eventful season for this man, as he is a well-deserved world champion, as he climbs out of his car and he goes to rest against the front right wheel. He is tired, but his work has paid off as he has won the world championship and he has achieved his dream. But over at Mercedes, it's an absolute disappointment as George Russell did not qualify well, and that qualifying ruined his race. Along with his bad start, Russell will just fall short of the podium and the world title. It's an absolute heartbreak for the Mercedes Petronas team, but here are the race results for Verstappen, Leclerc, Norris, Russell, Sainz, Perez, Hamilton, Gasly, Alonso, and Bottas. Those are the people who get points. It's a great run made by Charles Leclerc's first ever podium in MF1. Now, here's the Drivers' Championship. Verstappen comes out on top with 126 points. Russell with 114, Perez with 70, Norris with 69. Perez beat out Norris by a single point to get to the third position in the Drivers' Championship. That is absolutely incredible. And finally, here's the Constructors' Championship. Red Bull came out on top with 196 points. Mercedes came in second with 167 points. And Ferrari in third with 108 points. It's been a wonderful Season 1, but all things must come to a close. And I want to thank you especially for all your support on these MF1 videos. They take a lot of work to make. And without you guys, these videos won't even exist. So I give a huge thanks out to you guys. And make sure to stay tuned because there will be an MF1 Season 2 info video coming soon. In that video, we'll talk about the MF1 Season 2 schedule, the new teams, and the new driver lineup coming. I have a lot planned for the next season. I know you guys are going to enjoy it, and I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you for all the support on these videos, and I hope to catch you next time in MF1 Season 2.